The Azam, Part 231. During this period, the Dominion status debate was still alive, as was the phrase status made clear by Lord Balfour in 1926. As complete self-government and absolute liberty to terminate partnership in the British Commonwealth of Nations. In November 1939, dissatisfaction with the official policy persuaded Cripps to send Sir Stewart, then permanent Under-Secretary for India, a scheme that promised India just that Dominion status. This scheme proposed an immediate implementation of Britain's promises and also a conceding of the right to India to frame its own constitution through a constituent assembly. As an act of parliament would be needed for this, some delay was unavoidable. But His Majesty's government affirmed that they would bind themselves introducing a bill immediately after the war, or even before should a suitable opportunity arise. Cripps then envisaged an assembly of some 2,000 members chosen on the basis of existing provincial electorates with adequate proportional representation of the citizens of the states, but he was open to such alternative ideas about the structure of the assembly as were agreeable to the Indian parties. Britain would endorse decisions taken by the assembly on a 3/5 vote, provided only that the Assembly agreed to enter into a fixed-term treaty. Cripps had suggested 15 years, whereby Britain would discharge its obligation to the princes, the minorities, and the services also for defense, finance, and commerce. For the present, Britain would do its utmost in association with the representatives of the Indian people to arrange such expedients as are possible under the existing constitution to give the Indian people a larger measure of self-government during the war. All this is cited to underscore how and why Cripps' bona fides in Jawaharlal Nehru's mind had got established, besides placing Cripps among the most forward-looking Labour leaders on the question of India's independence. On a non-official visit to India upon reaching Allahabad on 8 December 1939, Cripps had an occasion to again discuss this scheme with Nehru. From his reactions, Nehru seemed to regard Cripps' proposal as offering some basis, though lacking the needed ballast of adult suffrage. Under the existing provincial franchise, the Muslim representatives in the envisaged Constituent Assembly would simply not agree with Congress or any revised constitution that failed to accommodate the League, classes, and communities' interests. Nehru, on the other hand, continued to remain single-mindedly fixed upon undercutting the Muslim landlords and middle classes through full adult franchise. If that were adopted, he argued, then the Congress would be willing to allow even special communal representation for the minorities. Though he continued to object to the world's dominion status, this was a fixation for him. He also gravely doubted the need for the treaty period to be 15 years or for it to provide minority rights in any other manner but through the Constitution. Reporting to Mahadev Desai, Gandhi's secretary, Nehru had remarked that the scheme had some desirable features but also had 2 or 3 fatal defects. Nehru, was by now in 1939 not going to enter temperately picked a quarrel with Gandhi again on this score.